to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is USYKDUBOIS for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Kalle Sauerland. Kalle, thank you very much for giving me some of your time. It's been a while. How are you, my friend?
It's lovely to see you up in wonderful Bolton today. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. All the better for it being a big fight week, of course. Let's talk about
Andy McCart at the Eubank workout. You know, you're all over IFL, all over the country.
You can't escape us, mate. You can't get rid of us. You can't get rid of us.
I haven't seen Coogan yet.
Oh, you'll see him in Manchester. You'll see him. Lyndon Arthur. This fight with Brian Suarez is a fight that he was literally 24 hours away from. He even said earlier on the stage he stripped to make weight for this fight. So it was a fight he wanted. It was a fight he demanded, and it's a fight he's got and a chance to finally get his hands on that OBO title.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, boxing's a funny old game, isn't it? Here we are. This fight should have taken place 3-4 months ago, and but it's on. Lyndon Arthur for the IBO Light Heavyweight Championship of the World, live and free on Channel 5 this Friday night against Brian Suarez. 17 knockouts in 18 fights. Impressive punching record. And yeah, look, I mean, it's such a lit division. You see some great fights happening. You know, Boatsy Aziz, Beterbiev Smith, and this propels Lyndon if the game plan comes off Friday night, because there's going to be millions of viewers on Channel 5, and it's the fifth world title, isn't it? So it's, you know, it's a belt that's been held by Roy Jones in the past in that division, and okay, outside that division you've got the Klitschko's and Golovkins, etc. But it's a bargaining chip. It puts him at the head of the queue of all the British fighters. So, you know, fantastic. And by the way, you know, we're going to have viewing figures, which at the same time, if everything plays the way I envisage it to play out, it sounds like I'm playing like a computer game here, but you know, Lyndon is going to turn it on Friday, and when Lyndon turns it on, best light everywhere on the planet for me.
Yeah. Well, I remember we spoke before.
When he turns it
of
on,
course.
yeah. We see glimpses of it, and we just need that. And I know Pat's pushed him hard in the gym, but that's, you know, when you get Lyndon at his best, he is do everything, the guy. But he's still developing. It's just the fact he can do pretty much everything, from a great jab to a fantastic. We haven't seen much of that fantastic right yet. Footwork, you know, he's got it all. But it's about capturing that and making it, you know, concentrating in fights that he's not waiting, you know, 4 or 5 rounds to come into it. You know, he's like, some other people say to me, does he need to get punched first before he, does he need to really take one before he goes for it? And you sort of get that feeling, but I'm sure it's something at the same time they work on. And, you know, some boxers do suffer from that late starting, but it's, you know, it's a tough division, the light heavyweight division. It's just not a good idea.
We haven't spoke to you since the weekend just gone, so I'm going to start with a pretty simple question. Kalle, above or below?
Yeah, there's no simple answer, is there? It's below, isn't it? I mean, it's what the referee called. I can have my opinion all day long. Referee called it below, so it's below. You know, yeah, I can see the argument for what people are saying for both. And those are both, on both sides, knowledgeable people on the sport, you know. In fact, today, going around the different various press events in Bolton and in Manchester, talking to people, it's divided, you know, it's sort of down the middle, and, you know, but the only person really, Pabon, the ref, very experienced ref, he's made that call, and, you know, that's what it is. So, you know, he's thrown it from low. That's, you know, which, by the way, it's not illegal by any, you know, you can throw it from low and it's absolutely fine. What it does do is it does land on the protector, and that protector is pushed into the groin area, and that definitely qualifies as a low blow. Now you can start the argumentation differently by saying, where was the belt at the time? Loads of technicalities. At the end of the day, it's not really my business, and I can only look at it on as a fan and say, watching it at the time, my initial reaction was that it was a borderline one, and I've been around the sport too long to know that on TV, on social media, on print media, when you see those things, you can think you have your opinions right, but when you're even ringside, if you're sitting and the camera, the ring is higher and you're looking up at an angle, you also get a different angle of it. The ref is the closest to it.
What do you think will come of Frank Warren's appeal? Not what do you want to come from the appeal? I mean, I know we're going to see Usyk and Filip Hrgović next, but what do you think will come from Frank's appeal? Because it seems like when the word appeal is used, the end result that the person wants from the appeal never kind of seems to happen anyway. So,
yeah, I mean, I guess they'll be appealing for a rematch, or
does that work? Do you think
another mandatory shot? There's different types of appeals. One thing I've learned on appeals is they take a long time. Yeah. So that they'll be doing what they've got to do. Even if they did order a direct mandatory or direct rematch, it wouldn't affect the Hrgović situation because it would be seen as another mandatory, and then that mandatory would fall in line with the other mandatories. So the IBF is still the next one. Yeah.
And you guys have had a message or a letter from the IBF kind of clearing this up?
On that situation, just to clarify, live here on IFL, just to clarify, when we put that tweet out on Saturday night, it wasn't distasteful, it wasn't like stupid, it was premeditated.
But it was factual. It was factual.
Sorry, Oscar.
I was waiting for something else at the end of
your face. I was sure. Oh, that was good. Sorry. It's been a long day. No, it was premeditated. It was organised before. I didn't, do that like down the pub, sort of sketching, Usyk, Hrgović, and thought I'll put that out on Twitter. No, we received letters 3-4 weeks ago from the IBF. So did Team Usyk. We were notified you need to beat Dempsey McKean. Usyk needs to beat Dubois, and the mandatory's next. So it's done. It's not. Oh, they're going to order it now. No, they're going to. No. They have ordered it. It's done. So it's not. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we're going to put our fishing rods out there now on a Saturday night. No, it's got nothing to do with that. So yeah, it is what it is. It's been a long time waiting for that. The history of it is we all know purse bids with Michael Hunter, Andy Ruiz. There's the whole storyline around. 2.5 years ago, Filip Hrgović was announced as boxing final eliminator. It took us a year and a half to find someone who actually manned up to it. Big bang zang, and it wasn't Filip Hrgovic's best day. He'd been waiting a year and 3 months for that fight. And he won the eliminator. Then we've been told that Fury and Usyk going to try and get on. We played ball to a large extent because we also thought it'd be fantastic to fight the winner at that. But then it didn't happen. Yeah. So all the absolute nonsense crap that's being bandied around now. Or they're in negotiations again, and so Tyson's signed to a fight in 2 months. Right? Have people forgotten that? Yeah. And it's not a traditional boxer. It's someone who's boxing now, but he's the UFC heavyweight champion. I mean, so he's taking on the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. It's a huge spectacle. It's a big event. So what we're going to do now? Like, let's wait 2 months. Then we'll see what happens then. And then maybe they can find a deal for some time next year, you know, sort of let's do it next summer. And
You guys are just still sat there scratching, looking
for another year. And by the way, again, the people say, oh, well, Hrgović didn't look that good. No, well, he's only been out a year. Why has he been out a year? Oh, he's been out a year because he was waiting for, you know, that mandatory process to happen, to fight that eliminator. Okay, then he waited for the whole Fury Usyk thing to play out, so he waited another year. So, and now he should wait another year. Man, what do you want to do? Ruin his career? Totally? You know, this is a guy who has been around the circuit for 10 years. For 10 years, people know about Filip Hrgović and how good he is. You know, that sparring video, and I don't make much of sparring videos. In fact, I rarely look at a sparring video. I like to watch sparring in the gym, but sparring videos when fights, it doesn't do much for me because I know there's all different scenarios, what round is it, etc. But watch that video, and it's all over the place on social media, of him fighting against Deontay Wilder. One of the best sparring sessions, in fact, the best sparring session I've ever seen. You know, and you know, he's been around for years. It's not like this guy's come out of nowhere and we built him up and padded record and we slipped him in there as a mandatory. You know, yes, we have done it in the past with certain people, but no, this is not one of those cases. Yeah, this is not even legitimate. Totally earned it. More than legitimate. Pro who's been around for years. You know, give the man his shot, and that's what they've done, and that's the right thing.
Yeah, so there you go, cleared up by Kalle on IFL TV. Alexander Usyk, Filip Hrgović. There you go. Sticking with the heavyweights, just your take on Robert Hellenius. Obviously, we saw an adverse finding, a substance we've kind of become to know a little bit in the boxing scene of clomiphene. Just your take on Robert's failed test.
Yeah, you always get taken by surprise. I don't forget we promoted we promoted Hellenius. So I'm still thinking about Philip. We promoted Hellenius for 6, 7, 8 years. Promoted him against Chisora, but with European title fights. I've got to say, from that Hellenius that I knew then, there's not a chance he would have been taking anything. He was like proper Scandi, sort of strong man, you know. Don't forget, we promote some of the best Scandinavian talents, and it doesn't exist in that sort of world that they're from, and where they train in. But I don't know what's happened since then. I can't really comment on it. I'd hope Robert, you know, can clear his name. You know, I don't know much of the facts around it, apart from that it's another stain. Yeah, it's another stain, isn't it? You know, that's the bit that it's just it's phenomenal what's happening at the moment. It's like to the level where you think it can't be. Like, how? And also like situations. What I've heard like Didion White is he's had issues in the past, so I really can't believe that Didion. At least I don't want to believe that Didion, who's been around for so many years, you know, he's about to get a massive payday, massive chance to resurrect his career, right at the end of his career, and he's gone off and taken roids. I don't want to believe it. I can't believe it. You know. But that's what the finding is. So you're left with that. So it's like you're saying, what the fuck is this? It's like sorry, now I'm bringing up the name, but Conor Benn. Like, you can't make it up because, and this is the truth, is they asked for VADA to be in there. We would find it was, you know, British fight, British board, you know, UCAD. They asked for VADA. So it was like, right. So he's tested positive with the, you know, it's just like, you know, and yes, so
you would say most of that is you not wanting to believe it then?
I think we all don't want to believe. We don't want to hear it, but it's out there, you know, and it can't all be, you know, oh no, well, he's a good guy, you know, so he didn't take that, you know, no bollocks, you know. And what's sad is I'm sure there are some stories of contamination. The problem is that, you know, if you look deeper into it, you know, when you share gyms, you know, it's like living with someone, yeah, and you spar people. There's certain steroids that you take these days that you take with creams, with gels. You're sparring that person, yeah, and that gel rubs up against you. That there is a genuine issue out there, and that by the way isn't, I'm not defending anyone. None of my guys, touch wood, have been caught with anything, but there is definitely there's something happening in terms of people who I believe, and not all of them, but I think there are certain stories that I just can't believe because the circumstances around it just doesn't make sense. And maybe it's because I'm just too blue-eyed. I don't know. But when you've got someone who's going to earn, I don't know, $6-7 million, you're getting tested, buddy, right? You know it's coming. They're coming for piss. They're coming for blood. They're coming for whatever they can get from you. What are you going to do? Put a fake penis there? No. This is not it's not the 80s. Yeah. So why? How? Now, I know that certain things are used as masking agents, but no. This doesn't make sense, right? So, yeah. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Well, you used the right word when you said stain on the sport. I'll move on. I know the boys will probably speak to you tomorrow at the official press conference, which I guess you'll be at for Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. Just a quick one. Busy week for yourself, and a really good fight, a really exciting fight as well. The buzz around this one is serious. Now the promos are starting to come out, and I'm seeing that kind of online buzz.
It's got. You know why it's buzzing? I'll tell you why it's buzzing, and it's buzzing more than the first one because you got the storylines. And let me say it from outside. If you're looking at it from a Liam Smith point of view, he went in that first fight. He can tell us all day long. I thought I was going to knock him out in that fourth round, and that was coming. That was a plan and everything. Even Liam's face when he put him down is shock. Yeah, and see the reaction, everything. That was a massive shock. Not that he won. Liam definitely thought he was going to win the fight before. I'm sure, super confident. But the way it happened, that was a massive shock. You see their reaction. It was just like after the third round, he's had it put on him, and he comes back and he, hits the punch from the gods, and the reaction says it all. So how does that affect Liam in this fight? How do these back injuries, which are recurring injuries from the past, affect a man who's, I'm even 10 years older, so I can say it. He's not, it's not just the grey hair. There's a few other things that are aging. How's he gone around that in camp? So there's a lot of storylines within Liam. Then you look at Junior. Christ, look at the reaction, Junior, when he was put down. Look at that reaction. That reaction, I've got to say, I don't think I've ever seen at that level. I've never seen a reaction like it. It's like a bouncy ball. He put him down with a barrage of punches and a couple of elbows in there as well. Yeah, I had to get that in. And he's just leapt up. And you're like, what's he doing? Like, you can just spit your guard out into the first row, pick a point, whatever. But, the bravery, wow. Yeah. But, and I know people say bravery, stupidity, but that phrase, unfortunately, in this case, I would say naivety, but also a situation that he's never been in before. He's never been down before. So how'd you react? That's how you react. We saw exactly how he reacted because it's on tape for the whole world to see. He bounced up like a bouncy ball. So how's he dealt with that bravery and that pride? That part I can talk more about. I can't talk too much about Liam, but Junior's gone off and had the camp of his life in Vegas, and people will say, "Oh, well, I've seen the Instagram videos him partying him out with Dan Bilzerian." Yeah, he's very good at social media. He's good at taking videos that he puts out 6 months later. So don't worry about the timeline. I saw him over there, totally focused. Also, no hangers on around him. Very, very, very. He was not alone, but he was out there with a bare minimum, just going in boxing gym, boxing. And that's where he's from. That's what Junior does. You know, take away all the razzmatazz. So he's genuinely self-taught, you know. Senior, massive figure in his life at the beginning of his career and throughout his career. And then Roy Jones. But it was now, he felt that this switch to Bomac would add that chink of armour that he was looking for. You know, that team, that professional team, not a person, not senior, not Roy Jones Jr., but a team. That's what he was looking for. So that's what he wanted. It's not about like he took Bomac on to go and, you know, learn how to throw the jab better or do this better. No, it's about a team. Okay, that team's always going to put together the strategy. That team's together for the camp, for the fight week, for the fight, and that's a road he's gone down, and it's exciting to look at that part as well because he's never had that before. He trained with Adam Booth and Boxing Booth and that team, but that was a long time ago, and it was only for a very short period of time. So this is going to be fascinating, and one thing's for sure, whoever side you're on, you can bet your bottom dollar that there ain't going to be a warm-up, right? There's no warm-up in this gunfight. They're coming out shooting. Liam will be pumped with the thought that, you know, it's the continuation of that fourth round and he can batter him pillar to post. And Junior will do, in my opinion, what Junior does best. And that's straight up to his man, you know, and absolutely put it on him. Barrage of punches, output. That's what he does. Yeah. So, don't want to miss the gunfight.
It is going to be such a good night in Manchester. One final thing, I won't spend too long on this, but have you recovered from the carnage at Wembley Arena the other day?
Wow.
That means no.
Oh, you know, have I recovered? Let me think about it. I still have nightmares about it, like Big John coming towards me. Then, you know, cake going flying. But the biggest panic, as everyone saw, was my phone. Yeah. I found it. Don't worry, people. Yes, I saw the comments. Yes, I've got all the contacts, you know, all the multinational network of dealers, car dealers that is, all over the world, a dealer in every town. Wherever you need a car, I've got one in my phone book. So yes, I found that. Fantastic comments. I thought when it happened, I thought, oh right, I'll have a look at the comments here. Thinking, right, oh, he's dropped his rap, he's done this, he's done that. And I'm thinking, right, that was too obvious. My army of fans who constantly love to talk about Don Callis, they're fantastic because they reinvented the whole time. That was too simple for them. No, it was about me losing my phone. I'm worried about my dealer contacts. Are fantastic, mate. Sensational. Well done. No, yeah. Sorry, I always have to laugh about that. But at the same time, you saw what Misfits does. 100 million views, sold out Manchester Arena on the pre-sale, not even on the general sale. And yes, the pre-sale is only for sign-ups, you know, so imagine the amount of sign-ups. The database, massive, going to smash that pay-per-view record into orbit on October the 14th on DAZN. It's going to be absolutely insane. So yeah, am I buzzing about it? Absolutely. I'm even more buzzing. I've still got my phone.
To not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,